Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Today we're going to kickstart our in-depth mod overview series, which will feature on the channel every now and again. Today's mod is simply titled Old World Rites, so without further ado, let's begin. Rites are a mechanic that were introduced in Total War Warhammer 2. Rites were introduced in a way to provide unique bonuses to all the races introduced in the second game of the series, with some new rites being introduced for new factions. I am a big fan of the rites mechanic. Sure, some of them can be horrendously overpowered, and there are others which are borderline useless, but generally the mechanic as a whole is fun and enjoyable. Rites were introduced to be exclusive to any races belonging to Total War Warhammer 2. And no races from the first game will receive such a mechanic. This was done to add in a level of uniqueness when comparing races from the first game and the second game, which in my opinion is an absolutely ridiculous reason for not to add in rights for the Game 1 races. Every single race and faction in the lore of Warhammer Fantasy was already incredibly unique and had been represented as such in Total War Warhammer. With unique mechanics, units and so on, it makes no sense for rights to be exclusive to just the races of Warhammer 2. Thankfully, we do have a mod that fixes this, which we'll go over right now. Old World Rights introduces mods to every single race from Warhammer 1. Just like the official ones for Warhammer 2, some of them are completely overpowered, but as far as I've seen, the developer for this mod is quite active and is open for criticism should there be any. But without wasting any more time, let's look at each of the respective races and their new rights. The rights for the greenskins are known as Effigies, the first one being Effigy or the Big War, which given the current rework for the greenskins that has just recently been released, I'm assuming that it will probably get reworked eventually. This made it faster for you to recruit units, gives some bonuses to your big orcs, reduces construction costs, and interestingly enough also increased the hero recruit rank for goblin big bosses, which really wasn't part of the Big War, it was actually part of the Little War. Effigy of the Spider God gives various bonuses to spider-based units and also increases your Winds of Magic reserve. Effigy of the Bad Moon focuses around goblins and squigs. And lastly, Effigy of Gork and Mork, which triggers a dilemma which will offer the player a choice between the two greatest gods. Now I'm not going to actually say what's in there, I'd rather the players downloading the mod find out for themselves. Next we have the rights for the vampire counts, the first one being Right of Willpower, which focuses around vampiric corruption, strengthening it in your region and also increasing the rate on how it spreads. Next would be Right of Strength. This one is known to be very powerful as it spawns Blood Knights at your faction capital. I've seen many comments regarding this saying that it's way too powerful. The Right of Dominance focuses around strengthening public order, increased hero ranks for the vampires, and some general buffs for some units. And lastly, the Right of Intrigue, which to me is the one that I'm most interested in, as it makes the vampires a bit more lore-friendly, as you know that many vampires do hide within the shadows of known nations trying to influence them from within, so this gives you some diplomatic bonuses to the Empire and Kislev. Next is Norska, and before we actually start looking at them, should they not really have rights already, considering that they were the pre-order incentive for Game 2, technically they are a Game 2 race and should have their own rights. But they were never introduced into the Vortex and we all know why. There was a bit of a drama about that if most of you remember. The first right is the Right of the Wanderer, which is general combat buffs. The next one being the Right of Shornal, which mostly focuses around getting more income for your faction. Next would be the Right of Memedeus, which once again focuses around combat, more specifically around naval combat, so I'm assuming this is buffs in island battles. And lastly, the Right of Karnath, which features generalized buffs such as increased leadership and the reduction of construction cost. Honestly, out of all of them, the Norska one seems to be a bit weak, and probably needs to be worked on a bit. Next we have the Dwarfs, with the first one being Clear the Underway, which as can be expected provides bonuses in regards to the Underway. Next we have Honor the Guilds, which to be honest is probably the most overpowered one of them all. Reduced artillery turn recruitment, construction time reduced by 25%, and increased income from all buildings for 15%. Next we have Take the Oath, which provides a bunch of bonuses in regards to Slayers, and finally Seal the Holds, which provides a bunch of bonuses when you're under siege, something that to be honest I've never really seen much when playing as the Dwarfs, but I guess it's because I play more aggressively. Now we move towards the Empire and the Imperial Edicts. Firstly, we have the Imperial Policies. A dilemma will offer a choice between various Imperial policies. Once again, I'm not going to explain what's in here, I'd rather people find out for themselves. Imperial Gunpowder increases your artillery capabilities, and also gives you a steam tank. Imperial Faith is all in regards to rooting out corruption, and finally Imperial Steel is for the recruitment of state troops. Next is the Warriors of Chaos and Favor of the Gods. Firstly, we have Cults of Chaos. The Servants of Chaos gather an army near your faction leader's horde to wreak havoc among the foes of Chaos, and also special Chaos corruption in various parts of the world. Next is Gods of Chaos. A dilemma will offer a choice between favouring the Dark Gods, choose wisely. Once again, I'll let the player find out for themselves. Storms of Chaos focuses around general campaign movement, and lastly, Tides of Chaos is focused around replenishment and increased horde capabilities. Next is the Beastmen and Dark Omens. First, we have Vicious Demise, which focuses around siege combat and also around gaining income. Next, we have Vicious Heart, which focuses around your magic capabilities, specifically for that of your Brayherds. Vicious Shadows is focused around campaign map mechanics, and lastly, Vicious Herd is focused around horde growth and general recruitment. Next, the Wood Elves and their invocations. Firstly, the invocation of Warahmmer, which increases campaign movement range and also helps them gain income faster. Invocation of Isha gives you powerful casualty replenishment, and interestingly enough, a bonus of diplomatic relations with all elven factions. Invocation of Athaloran is focused around recruitment and construction, and finally Invocation of Loic is, well, very powerful. Ammunition plus 25% for all missile units. Wood Elf range capabilities are scary enough as it is. And lastly, we have the Bretonnian Rights, the first being the Call of the Lady, which buffs up your knights even more so than they already are. The second being Call of the Peasantry, which, well, yeah, peasants, so we can ignore this one. The third being Call of Errantry, and Errantry is summoned at your faction's capital to be sent against the faction of your choosing. Once again, I'll let you see this one for yourself. And lastly, Call Against Invaders, plus 20 diplomatic relations with all human factions, and a massive 25% bonus of campaign movement range, which is absolutely insane. Before recording this video, I did manage to test out each of the campaigns for a decent number of turns, in an effort to actually see how these rights work, and to be honest, they were very enjoyable and do work quite well. Yes, some of them are quite overpowered, that's an obvious thing here, you can already guess which ones by just seeing the images which I had on screen. Some of them are really forgettable, but in most cases they do fit quite well. The mod author Vandy has clearly tried to balance these rights to the best of his ability, and they do feel fairly balanced when compared to the actual official rights. As far as he is aware, it is compatible with most if not all active mods, but nothing too drastic. However, it could be that it does crash every now and then or conflicts with a different mod. This can be expected. Honestly, after using this mod for a while, I think this can become a permanent staple in my mod list. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various different social media links such as Facebook, Instagram and Discord, where you can get in contact with the Great Book team. Also in the description section below is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Using our special link and also the special code, which is also in the description below, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons, your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A special thank you to Ryan Bertsche and Gibraltar LUSC for subscribing to us at our Fame level, you guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule and VSVasan for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you guys enough. The money earned from Patreon is going directly back into the channel, slowly upgrading little bits and bobs, just trying to get to a higher level of content for you guys. And a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. The support has been insane lately and honestly we can't be more than excited. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.